notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments, prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gain, they can run that play on any down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And Walker once more. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option. You
get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Here's Rashad Penny, first carry for the former San Diego State Aztec. That's a good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. They keep it with Penny on first down. And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Penny, the first down carry. And he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Seven, our score after 1. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. To the right side, this is Walker. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. They'll try for the first with Walker. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. A rough go there on 3rd down, a loss of 4. He handed it off there, but I don't really know if he would have kept it or tried to do anything else if it would have mattered.
Yeah, it's not always a wrong read when a play gets stacked up. Sometimes they're just at the line of scrimmage. There's just too many bodies to maneuver.
And as a result, now they're looking at a 4th down. They snap it to Smith. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And they'll get him down inside the red zone at the 14. It's also a gain of 14. First down.
Partner, there are strong running plays, and then there are plays where you simply outclass the defense, and we saw the last. They ran straight up the heart of that front for an excellent gain and first down. Simply put, you've got to put up more of a fight defending the middle. Otherwise, this is going to be a long game.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Back to Walker on first down. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Again, it's Walker, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
Well, they've had success on the ground on this drive, and that makes the defense more likely to overcommit to stop the run as they did on that play. But keep in mind, it makes them susceptible to play-action passes as well.
And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. They'll run for it. It's Walker. And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Kenneth Walker, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. When you get down this deep, Charles, you hate to settle for a field goal. They roll the dice on 4th down, really just hoping to get that first. But as it turns out, they take it all the way into the end zone.
You mentioned that they took a little bit of a gamble there. Think about it this way. Most teams throw the ball in this situation in the NFL, so they really gambled with a running play. And boy, did it pay off. Pay dirt.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that makes the score 14-7. Touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. As this offense comes back out here, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game. And they've been on the sideline for a while. They did score their last time out, but they just had to watch that long, sustained drive, so we'll see if they can shake the rust off.
Yeah, and that's always a question that you have when you have to come off the bench after having sat there for a long time. Are you ready to go? Are you loosened up? But even more so, are you mentally alert and ready to put your best product out there?
And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Back near his goal line, it's Prescott. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter, 14-7. Now Prescott on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. A surprising move to go for it predictably, at least somewhat predictably. It doesn't pay off. And, boy, that means this next drive is going to start at the 3-yard line. So quite a turn of events. This is 1st and goal from the 3. Here's Smith. And he finds Lockett in the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle. A 3-yard touchdown pass. And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So that pretty conclusively, I might add, shows you the perils of going for it and not making it on 4th down. One play, touchdown.
Yeah, and I've got to put this on the man in charge, the head coach. He made the decision to go for it. To me, when punting was the only decision to make, and it backfired on him in a big way.
Now Myers for the extra point. It's good, and it is now 21-7. touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt a return. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense.
Charles, we know that this offense is aggressive. We saw that last drive. They went for it on fourth down, didn't get it.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams.
And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football.
Well, when I looked down, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
Running right, here's Walker. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle.
Ken Walker
with his second touchdown here in this first half.
And the Seahawks take a 3-touchdown lead. Well, it has been the passing game that's really been responsible for much of the scoring so far. But let's not forget about this running attack. They're pretty good, too, as evidenced right there.
And I think, Brandon, the fact that they've thrown the ball so well contributed to that touchdown, because that was a defense that was really keyed up to cover those receivers. All they wanted to do was blanket them. They didn't have enough men in the box to stop the run, and you saw the end result.
The extra point now coming from Myers. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. The touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. Throwing. Prescott. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's caught inside the 35.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. Well, he's been doing this for a lot of years, and the arm strength still there, and he showed it off on that one.
And to be honest, this first half hasn't been anything that they'd be really proud about. So they needed something like this to change their fortunes. Now they need to make sure they finish this one off, not just with points, but with a touchdown.
And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Prescott. They're looking for Lamb, but it's intercepted. Tariq Woolen picks it. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
I mean, at this point, CD, what is not going their way in this first half? After that pick six, they now have a 4-possession lead here.
And that allows them to say to themselves, how about we get everybody involved, okay? Because this one is a runaway, and it's looking like it's going to be even more of a runaway. Everybody gets a chance to play and get a little bit of love. The more guys that get to watching the highlight reels from this one, the better.
Now Myers for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away.
And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense.
And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line.
You can admire his willingness to sacrifice his body to try and pick up the first down, and I do. But let's face it, you know his coaches are going to warn him about diving or extending for a marker for this exact reason. So much easier to have the ball knocked free when you're extended like that. So if you're going to...
Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Anthony Barr.
And now off to the races down the right side. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Cowboy defense has a touchdown.
So maybe some signs of life. I mean, this has been a defense. They've been all over the map here in this first half, but they're coming through with a big play.
And sometimes that one play is what you need. And it sounds overly simple, but this is a team that was close to being down and out before halftime. So to come back and return an interception for a touchdown, that's big.
Yeah, maybe it can serve, Charles, like you were alluding to, as a little bit of a wake-up call for them. We'll see.
Marr now to add the extra point. It's good, and it's now 35-14.
Makes the score Seahawks 35, Cowboys 14. Brett Maher kicking off for Dallas.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room.
And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds.
85 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Smith. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. After the sack on 1st down, Smith.
Man open downfield, it's Metcalf.
Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half.
A gain of 26 yards. And that's good for the Seahawks. 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line.
The final shot here before break. Smith. He lets it fly for Lockett. And it's intercepted.
Picked off by Kelvin Joseph. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half.
Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway.
A fairly short kick from the 14. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
3rd quarter begins with a run by Walker.
He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure you're back. You spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. On 3rd down, here's Walker.
And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 7 yards there. Good enough to move the sticks. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They run again with Walker.
And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield.
10 yards and a Seattle 1st down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. Inside handoff, Penny. They find some open field here. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line.
67 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to. They didn't allow anything to leak.
And he finds Lockett in the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle.
A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Seahawks take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And that'll increase their lead to 28. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision, loses him about 4 yards.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 23 yards, the final tally.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long. But a nice throw there.
And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. CeeDee Lamb with his second touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Cowboys get a bit closer. So a very important first drive of the third quarter, Charles, and safe to say, a much-needed touchdown.
Which leads to the question, what was this in the first half? Because if they'd had a few more drives like that, they wouldn't be in this situation. But that is the kind of drive that sends a message to the other side. We're going to be here, and we're going to battle you to the end.
Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that'll cut the lead back down to 21. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away.
And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Still operating with a comfortable lead despite the score a moment ago as they begin 1st and 10.
And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
A give for Walker running right.
And some room to maneuver. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45.
134 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
And having built that kind of a lead, they're able to do whatever they want right now. All momentum on their side, especially now running the football.
Yeah, you're talking about a defense being on their toes. They don't know what's going to hit them next at this point.
No, they went from toes to heels, and they're trying to figure out how to get back to the toes part.
Walker with another carry.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Hand off here to Walker.
And some room to run now. Powers through it. And he's going to get this all the way down to the Cowboys' 9. It's a gain of 35. It'll be first and goal when we come back. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's first and goal from just inside the 10. They'll try and run forward with Penny. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Another try for Penny. He gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
Were you as surprised as I was that they actually ran it on second down there? I thought that they would go ahead and throw it in every situation here.
They've thrown for 3 touchdown passes. Now here, I think they probably go back to the air. And he finds Lockett in the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle. 4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Seahawks up the lead to 4 scores now here in this 4th quarter. Gino's going to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I know we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit, but going for 2 in this situation, somebody didn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot. No, okay.
And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. Dump it underneath to his running back, complete.
And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll run left with Pollard. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
From the lineman to the guy running with it, that was a well-executed first down by the offense. With 2 shots left to get the first, you can get a little aggressive here on 2nd down if you want and try for some bigger yardage.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Prescott to throw it. He finds his target. It's Schultz. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as a tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 43.
And Prescott to Schultz there for the Cowboy first.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there, it's going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 43. It'll be a handoff to Pollard. And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
He's brought down at the 37-yard line. A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
4 yards remain for 2nd down.
Here's Pollard again. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 7 yards there and a first down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
First down, Prescott. Going for the deep ball.
And this one almost intercepted. Had a chance to come down with it in the end zone, but could not hang on.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They run straight ahead here with Pollard. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down where they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. Looking to throw, Prescott. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. And the defense coming through on 3rd down, a loss of 7 to bring up 4th.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
Desperation time. Prescott on 4th. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Seahawks are going to take over the football. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted, so they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
On 2nd down, here's Penny. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Up the middle, here's Walker. And he will have the first down, but he winds up paying for it pretty good. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
1st and 10 at the 49-yard
line. Throwing now, Smith. They'll lock it with a grab over the middle.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Now a first down throw. It's Smith. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
Well, when they said before the game that they were going to try and execute every second of this contest, I guess that was taken literally, because here they are in the final moments of the fourth, putting another touchdown on the board, Charles, to add to this big lead.
I'm not a big believer in 110%, but it certainly applies here, doesn't it? Because some guys just can't go with less. As long as there's time left on the clock, they're pushing to get to the end zone one more time. They don't really care about what the optics show. They just want to finish the game off the way that they like to play. Full speed.
I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened.
And Prescott, his third interception. Tariq Woolen picks it. And the Seahawks come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.